Then next we've got the tome from Mal'Ganis. So Mal'Ganis says, "Did you truly believe you were my only means of escape, mortal? I offered you an opportunity, one you blithely refused. You will pay the price for crossing me, but first there are more important matters that demand my attention. So enjoy this brief reprieve, player. It is the last you'll ever know." There you go. Some nice taunts from the big man.
Yeah, from the fuck. I hate it. It's literally just, haha, we're smarter than you. Haha, we're better than you. You can't touch us. We're the best.
It's a conniving villain.
Yeah, because the whole point
They're
was
allowed to do that.
Because the whole point was
Didn't he die in Warcraft 3? Oh, Andy. Oh, Andy. A lot of the lore has definitely passed you by, I'm afraid.
You poor sweet child.
Which just shows that it's hard for people to keep up with how they're doing.
Yeah,
things.
it's really awkward because I enjoyed when we didn't free him in the quest because it was set up quite nicely and quite intelligently. Where he's like, I guess this is tactically spoilers for the quest goes on, but I don't think anyone minds. He goes, "Oh, here, free me, and I'll help you do whatever you need to do." And you kind of play along with him. He's like, give me 4 sigils of binding, and I can free myself. And then you go and you pick up the sigils from around the place, but you don't bring them to him. You bring them to the person guarding them and say, "Here, you've left these lying about. Anyone could have freed this dangerous dreadlord. Sort it out." And it feels smart because it kind of feels like you've almost outsmarted Mal'Ganis a little bit. And then immediately, 2 weeks later, he's just like, "Ha, I'm free anyway. You can't stop me. I'm the best." You're like, last time we saw you in Warcraft 3, you actually got killed by Arthas when you acted all surprised. So what the fuck what is your character? Who are you? What's your purpose? What's going on?
The answer to that is different writing team.
Yeah.
I mean, Warcraft 3, very different. I mean,
Yeah,
Warcraft
of
3 in
course.
terms of like the things going on are what they seem. Basically entirely gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Warcraft 3's narrative is significantly weaker with what they've done with Shadowlands. So, yeah, I mean, it would have been odd if they did a Warcraft 3 Reforged and then had to contend with what the WoW team had in store. So yeah, there's that. There's also, by the way, a new blue post, which we're going to get to, that you're going to find very fun, Matt.
Yes.
So there's a new stay a while and listen between Chandris and Tyrande having a little conversation that clarifies a bit of vague wording used in the cutscene and why Tyrande moved on.
Nice.
Great pickup, Noble. Good man yourself, as always. By the way, hey, Blizz. Why was it not clear first time? So that people could enjoy the thing instead of being left with like, oh wait, what does this mean? This is so vague, I'm confused. When Teldrassil burnt, I could not understand why the goddess did not intervene, why she would allow so many to be lost. But I did not know of Ardenweald, of the duty and purpose that awaited the souls of our people, at least before the Maw. Perhaps we can never truly know the ways of the gods, my daughter, but I believe Elune made a choice to aid her sister, not one to cause us sorrow. The cycle the Kaldorite must now rejoin. No more looking to the past, it's time to embrace our future. It was not until I heard Elune's voice that I recognized the grief buried beneath my anger, sorrow intertwined with a deep sense of betrayal. Yeah, so the whole Night Warrior plotline was, they have sitcom style, just reset her back to where she was in a way that I think currently has no good resolution for the Teldrassil situation. Yep. And makes the whole Night Warrior thing feel like a pointless waste of time in terms of character, because Tyrande already had an arc like this in Mists of Pandaria. It was just there to do weird lore teases and reveals, which again it's like that's seasoning, not a meal.
Yeah.
It's like they're only interested in the lore building and they don't care about the characters. That is how it feels. I'm not saying that's how they feel, but it's how the end product ends up feeling. So yeah.
Sweet. Fuck me. I'm just imagining the end of a sitcom episode where it's like, Tyrande, what are you doing? She's like, doesn't matter, whatever. Let's not think about it. Ending theme plays.
Yeah, and I just feel like there's not enough meat in the bones here.
It's like, oh, well, a cycle that Kaldorai must now rejoin. No more looking to the past. It is time to embrace our future.
It is our fate to be fertilizer.
Yeah, so, right. So, like, let's stop and think about this for 2 seconds, right? Shadowlands over. Tyrande goes back. She's got her new fucking superhero mask on. And she's talking to her people, and they're like, what the hell's on your face, Tyrande? Don't worry, it's a loon. So, everyone, glad that I'm back. You know, there's not very many of you left. But here's some really good news. You see all of the people who burned to death in the tree?
Horribly.
You know,
Suffering, screaming.
Yeah, you know that. Well, that was a good thing, actually. Because we have to we have this part in this cycle. We have to rejoin this cycle of life and death. So death is actually okay. So don't worry about dying, because you go to this place called the Shadowlands, and you go to this place called Ardenweald, where you become eternal custodians to, you know, all the wild gods that we like, them, but over there after they die. So you know how they come back? Yeah, that was basically everyone you've ever loved that died is actually alive over there and being used as fertilizer to bring the wild gods back. Does anyone want to go to Ardenweald now? And you know, it completely blows the lid off the entire cultural thing of the Night Elves.
Also,
any form of religion, any form of mythos, anything. Like,
immortality.
Yeah, they were immortal for so long, so what
now they're no longer more immortal. That's got to be a big thing,
Yeah.
but it turns out they just go to the Shadowlands anyway.
Yeah, and here's a thought. Did no one ever talk about them being immortal before? Were they like, did Ardenweald suffer because the Night Elves were immortal? Did the blessing of Nordrassil keep them from going into Ardenweald, and was it completely empty? Also, how did Ardenweald function before the Night Elves existed? I guess
fuel from every other planet in the universe, and I guess maybe they're trying to make it now so that the only reason why like Teldrassil matters in terms of the power in Ardenweald is because Azeroth is like the last planet with life left on it.
Yeah,
but
it's been that way for a long time.
Yeah, and then the anima drought seems to have really kicked in pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do feel rather ignorant to the lineage of their games when they're doing this lore sometimes. So, yeah, okay, there's that. Very thrilling. Moving on.